Have you ever looked up at the ceiling in the middle of the night with tears streaming down your face, asking God, Lord, if you love me, why did you let them? Why did they break my heart? Have you ever wondered why the very people you prayed for, the ones you pour your soul into, they were the ones used to cause your deepest pain? The silence in your room feels loud. The loneliness feels heavy, like a physical weight pressing on your chest. You feel exposed. You feel abandoned. You feel confused. Because you thought you were doing right. You loved them. You forgave them. You stood by them. And yet, here you are, picking up the shattered pieces of your trust, while they seem to be walking away just fine. But hear me clearly today, beloved. This is not the end of your story. And this pain is not evidence of God's absence. Stop believing the lie that you are forgotten. Stop believing the enemy's whisper that you are unlovable or unworthy. This is not a curse on your life. This is not a rejection of your value. This is the preservation of your destiny. You see, sometimes God plays the long game. We look at the moment, but He looks at the momentum. We look at the hurt, but He looks at the harvest. What you are experiencing right now feels like a funeral, but in the eyes of heaven, it is a birth. It is a painful birth, a messy, confusing birth of the version of you that is finally ready to step into what was written for you before time began. Today, I want to walk you through 5 revelations, 5 reasons why God allowed the hurt, why He didn't stop the betrayal, and why He stood back while the door slammed shut. If you receive this in your spirit, it will change how you see your past, and how you walk into your future. Revelation number 1. God allowed the hurt to expose what was hidden from your eyes. You have a good heart. You see the best in people. You give chances to those who haven't earned them. And because you project your loyalty onto others, you assume everyone loves like you love. You assume everyone has the same integrity, the same heart for God, and the same intentions. But God sees what you cannot see. The Bible tells us in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, that the Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. You saw their smile. God saw their strategy. You saw their potential. God saw their poison. You were praying for a future with them, but God was protecting you from a destruction by them. You see, sometimes the only way God can get us to release a snake is if He allows it to bite us. If He had simply told you to walk away, you would have argued. You would have bargained. You would have stayed and tried to fix it. So He had to let the truth manifest in a way you could not deny. He let them hurt you to save you. He let them reveal their true character now before you build a house on a foundation of sand. The pain you feel is real, but the disaster He saved you from would have been fatal. What felt like rejection was actually a rescue mission. What felt like the loss of a friend was the removal of an enemy. What felt like a mistake was a miracle in disguise. God did not let them hurt you to crush you. He let them hurt you to clear your vision. He needed you to see that not everyone who walks with you is for you. Take this with you. Trust God's removal more than your emotional attachment. Revelation number 2. God allowed the hurt to break your dependency on people. For many of us, without realizing it, we turn people into idols. We don't mean to. We love God, but we start to look to a person for the validation that only God can give. We look to a relationship for our sense of worth. We look to a friend or a partner to make us feel safe, to make us feel seen, to make us feel complete. And when we do that, we inadvertently place a human being on the throne of our hearts. God is a jealous God. He loves you too much to share you with a substitute that cannot save you. He says in Exodus, "You shall have no other gods before me." This isn't because He is insecure. It is because He knows that any source of life other than Him will eventually run dry. When God allows that source to be removed, when He allows that person to walk away or hurt you, it creates a vacuum. It creates a space. It forces you to come back to the well that never runs dry. The pain of their departure is the breaking of an unhealthy soul tie. God had to make you uncomfortable in your dependency so you would become desperate for His presence. You let the phone stop ringing so you would pick up the word. He let the invites stop coming so you would come into the secret place. He let the validation fade so you would find your identity in the great I Am. Child of God, you were building your house on their approval. God knocked it down so you would build it on His rock. He loves you too much to let you settle for a love that is conditional, fickle, and human. He wants you to know a love that is wide, long, high, and deep. A love that stays. What felt like abandonment was actually alignment. What felt like silence was actually an invitation. What felt like loneliness was God clearing the room for an audience of one. Let this sink in. God will break your heart to save your soul. Revelation number 3. God allowed the hurt to produce a specific oil in your life. There is a level of anointing, a level of wisdom, and a level of authority that only comes through crushing. You can't buy it. You cannot study for it. You have to survive for it. Think about the olive. To get the oil, the olive must be pressed. Think about the grape. To get the wine, the grape must be crushed. Think about the seed. To become a tree, the seed must be buried in the dark and break open. The Bible says in James chapter 1 to let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. God saw a destiny in you that was too big for your current level of maturity. He saw a calling on your life that required a depth of empathy you didn't have yet. How can you heal the brokenhearted if your heart has never been broken? How can you tell someone God is a healer if you have never needed healing? The people who hurt you thought they were destroying you, but in the hands of God, they were just the press. They were just the tool God used to squeeze the glory out of your life. They thought they were burying you, but they didn't know you were a seed. Every tear you cried watered the soil of your destiny. Every lonely night strengthened the roots of your faith. The pain has given you a weight. When you speak now, people listen, because you don't just speak from theory. You speak from testimony. You have a compassionate authority now. God let them hurt you because He was trusting you with the pain. He knew you wouldn't waste it. He knew you wouldn't turn bitter. He knew you would turn better. He knew that out of this wound would flow a river of healing for thousands of others. What felt like a breakdown was actually a breakthrough. What felt like cruelty was actually cultivation. What felt like the end was the beginning of your ministry. Hear me, chosen one. Your pain is the passport to your purpose. Revelation number 4. God allowed the hurt to make you move. There are times in our lives when we get too comfortable in places we have outgrown. We stay in relationships that have expired. We stay in jobs that drain us. We stay in circles that tolerate us but do not celebrate us. We stay because it is familiar. We stay because we are afraid of the unknown. We stay because we hope it will get better. But God has a destiny for you that requires movement. He has a promised land waiting, but you are still camping in the wilderness of good enough. Sometimes, God has to make the nest uncomfortable to get the eagle to fly. It hurts to leave, but it is dangerous to stay where God has lifted His grace. When the cloud moves, you must move. And sometimes, God uses the unkindness of others to be the wind in your back, pushing you forward. They didn't push you down. They pushed you out. They didn't block your path. They redirected your steps. They didn't steal your future. They released you into it. God let them hurt you because you were settling, and He loves you too much to let you miss your appointment with greatness. Take this truth. A closed door is often more of a blessing than an open one. Revelation number 5. God allowed the hurt to show you that He is the avenger. He is watching your reaction. He is watching your character. Are you going to act like them, or are you going to act like Him? This was a test of your spiritual nobility. It is easy to love people who love you. But can you maintain your dignity when you are being dragged? Can you keep your heart soft when the world is hard? God is saying to you today, I saw it. I saw every lie they told. I saw every plot they made. I saw every tear you cried in secret. And I am keeping the score. You do not need to vindicate yourself. Your vindication comes from the Lord. By staying silent, by staying humble, and by continuing to walk in love, you are heaping burning coals on their heads. You are proving that your spirit is of a different breed. What looked like weakness was actually meekness, which is power under control. What looked like defeat was actually dignity. What looked like losing was actually winning the war for your character. Remember this. Your character is your currency in the kingdom, and God is protecting your account. Now, I want you to take a deep breath. Release the tension in your shoulders. Unclench your hands. Child of God, look at where you are. He wanted you to build walls around your heart so high that no one could ever get in again. Not even God. He wanted you to stop trusting, stop loving, and stop hoping. But look at you. You are listening to this because there is still a spark of hope in you. That is the victory. The fact that you are still seeking God is the evidence that the enemy failed. God kept you single, or kept you isolated, or kept you in this season of separation, not to punish you for your past, but to prepare you for your future. He is healing the parts of you that you didn't know were bleeding. He is stitching up wounds from your childhood that you thought were closed. He is repenting you. He is loving you back to life. The people who left, let them go. They were scaffolding. They were necessary for the construction, but they would ruin the final reveal. You don't keep the scaffolding up when the building is finished. Their absence is proof that a new level of completion has arrived. The betrayal let it go. It was the catalyst. It was the match that lit the fire of prayer in your life. The delay, it is not a denial. It is divine timing. God is saving the best for last. He is writing a love story for your life that will make sense of all the chapters where you cried yourself to sleep.